Hello viewer, the Nameless Scholar here. Compared to my other lore videos, such as my Dornian Heresy series and the Craft Worlds one, this lore video is going to be much more different, where basically I give my thoughts on a certain aspect of the lore, or a piece of lore, and basically give my 2 cents on it in an unscripted manner, similar to my shorter ranting videos, which are garbage, but whatever. The quality of my videos is of no concern to you because you're watching this. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this more normal-ish lore video where I basically commentate on it. Now, enough rambling. And let's just get straight to the point. In my opinion, the Oldcrons did not age well. They just didn't. They are just genocidal robots that want to kill all life just so they can feed their Pokemon shards. Yeah, if you're new to the lore, the Necrons used to be an enslaved race that would feed the Catan shards and purge all life. They were basically mechanical Tyranids, which is, we already have the Tyranids, so what's the point? I mean, sure, the backstory was more tragic, with both nobility and commoner alike being enslaved for all eternity. And there are some people certain people who claim that it's basically bad because they're not enslaved to their Catan shards. I would disagree. I would heavily disagree. Firstly, the thing is, the Necrons are still tragic figures. They were not only fooled, but the thing is, the Necron warriors have no will, the Flayed Ones are still as they are, the Necron destroyers have no free will. Well, they sacrificed it anyways. And not just that, the destroyer curse is like almost a disease, like the Flare virus. Aside from that, if the Necrons were more akin to the Reapers of Mass Effect, at least the first one, they could have been more interesting. You see, the Reapers, at least in Mass Effect 1, felt so Lovecraftian, so incomprehensibly advanced that you could not understand their motives as to why they were killing everything, and why they wanted to. The Necrons' motivations are simple. They just want to feed the shards of their gods. That's what the Oldcrons are. And lynch me all you want for this. The Necrons was the best and probably the only thing that Matt Ward has ever done. Like, with the Oldcrons, they got actual character. The Oldcrons were just the same cookie cutter things, but they were just Terminator ripoffs. Now they're just Terminator ripoffs with extra steps, with the introduction of named characters and dynasties, which what they do is still grimdark also. I mean, the Gauss weapons haven't changed, the Destroyers haven't changed, the Necron wraiths of old have returned as the Ophidian Destroyers. Yes, they're just Necron wraiths, but bigger, better, scarier, faster and stronger. And not just that, without the Necrons, we would not have the Infinite and the Divine. The Infinite and the Divine is one of the best 40k novels ever written, and arguably the best Xenos novel ever written. I have heard nothing but universal praise for it. Without the Necrons, we would not have the Infinite and the Divine. The Necrons have more interesting motivations. They are honor bound. Yes, they still do have their genocidal tendencies, but they now have more complex motivations. The Oldcrons were just trying to be mechanical tyrannies. Slower mechanical tyrannies, mind you. In fact, the only good thing the Oldcrons had were the Pariahs. And maybe the Necron race. But the selling point was the Pariahs and reanimation protocol. And they were just Terminator ripoffs. I mean, they still are to now, but at least they now have extra steps, extra motivations. And not only that, I know that Warhammer 40k is not bright, but regardless whether it's dark or bright, just think about this. You have a race that was fooled by the star gods to become their mechanical slaves. But their king played next level 4D chess that would only rival Tzeentch himself to turn on their star gods, shatter them, and enslave their remains. This is very grimdark to their enemies. Not to them maybe, but to their enemies. How can you fight an enemy that shattered gods? And if I know correctly, the infinite and the divine in the novel, Oldcrons states that there are billions of tomb worlds, which just eclipses the Imperium. Like, how do you deal a still innumerable amount of these soulless mechanical horrors that for you are nothing but genocidal monsters? They may have their motives. The royalty may still be sapient, but in the end, they're Xenos filth, and they want to destroy humanity. What hope do you have against an enemy that millions of years ago destroyed godlike entities? Now that is some dread right there. Knowing what the Necrons did, and almost anyone would lose hope. Because hope is the first step on the road to disappointment. So yeah, this was my short, semi-coherent-ish rambling on the Oldcrons. In conclusion, the Oldcrons did not age well. The only good thing they had were Pariahs, and they were just mechanical tyrannies. Now they're much more interesting, much more intimidating as a threat, and they have much more interesting motivations, motives, fighting styles, as well as being more honor-bound, let's say. So yeah, I do not think that the Necrons were a bad thing, and which most of the community has accepted the Necrons. I say that the Necrons are better than the Oldcrons, and you cannot change my mind. So yeah, and I just couldn't get around to making the Dornian Heresy video, but I'm gonna start on it now. And no, I'm not telling what it is. It's gonna be a surprise. So yeah, I'm the Nameless Scholar, and like the Dark Angels would say, never forget, never forgive.